The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Christine. Hi!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everybody! Again, we're back after ilang ba bakasyon natin? 2-3 weeks.
It's a long break.
Diba? So, I'm Carlo. I'm one of your hosts. Paolo. And we have a guest host, Jen. Pero pakilala mo sarili mo.
Hi, I'm Jen.
Jen.
Okay. Laura Guerrero, of course, is in the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
Nice!
Covering for us. We'll have a report from her next week, probably.
Yeah. Grabe. Big time na tayo. Nagpapadala na tayo sa Las Vegas. Wishful thinking.
Dami natin advertise yun.
Pero seryoso, nasa Las Vegas talaga si Alora. So, expect a lot of cool stuff and announcements from her next week for that episode. So, again, no, so New Year. Actually, sayang, nag-break tayo kasi ang daming lumabas ng mga telepono.
Oh my God.
During nung bakasyon eh. As in, almost all of the local manufacturers came out with new models. Kahit international brands also came out. So, I think ito yung magiging theme ng episode natin for today. Now, we'll try to play catch up.
Yes, we are here to help you catch up.
Yep.
Of course.
Here, we're airing live pala here at Beyond the Box at One Rockwell at NMF Network. Yun. Okay, that TV. Medyo rusty na ako. Okay, game.
Sobrang vacation.
Sobrang vacation mode. Okay, game. So, we have several phones for you guys this evening, no? So, we'll go through them. Most of the brands that we'll be talking today are local phones. So, locally branded phones. So, kaya namin to pinili kasi ito yung mga pinaka naging popular, not just on Unbox but also on a lot of other major sites, no? Kasi siya talaga yung
these are really the ones that have an impact on the market. Kasi ito yung abot ng, I mean, we are a poor market. So, ito yung abot ng market natin, diba?
Yeah, kasi kung titignan mo yung mga presyo, halos lahat na i-discuss namin today except for the Meizu, are all under 8,000. Diba? So, friendly siya sa bulsa. So, yung mga may leftover pa dyan na pamasko mula kay Ninong tsaka Ninang, pwede nyo ito tignan.
Mga ampaw.
O, diba? Mga ampaw. Okay, so we'll start, no? So, yung pinakauna natin i-discuss, this is, on natin ha, the Starmobile Crystal.
Wala ko S3.
Ta-da! O, diba? As you can see, it's made from the usual plastic material that you see in smartphones. It has
most Android phones.
It's an Android phone. It has a 4.5-inch IPS capacitive touchscreen. Kung napansin niyo, medyo maganda yung quality ng display kasi yung display niyan is QHD. Nax. Diba? QHD. So mas maganda yung
so
pixels.
One step below the regular full HD.
Yeah, one step below. But compared to the usual phones, diba? Hindi mo naman usually nakikita ang mga QHD phones for under 8,000. No? So this is the Starmobile Crystal. It's dual core, dual SIM. It has 512 RAM. So that's a bit of a letdown. Yung camera niya is 8 megapixels. So kung titingnan niyo dito sa likod, it's an 8 megapixel camera. Yung front camera niya is not your usual VGA. This is actually a 2 megapixel camera. Nax.
The front.
The front. So sa mga mahilig magpa-picture-picture dyan sa sarili.
Camcorder.
Yan.
Kasi nasa wallet size yan eh.
So that's a 2 megapixel camera. Ngayon yung dual core processor plus ice cream sandwich really helps a lot with the game. So kung mahilig kayo mag-games, yung mga Dead Trigger, yung mga NBA 2K13, pwede nyo laruin dito yan. No? So hindi mo na ako maglaro kasi I suck at those games. But yeah, they work well. So ito yung Starmobile Crystal. So we'll show you lang a quick video of the Crystal. Go Miguel! Yung actual unboxing niya. So check this out.
there.
Okay, good. Okay, so ito yung Starmobile Crystal. Ngayon, ito yung libre niyang jelly case. So may kasama siyang jelly case, no? So for the price that you're paying for it, which is 7,990, may kasama na siyang jelly case tsaka screen protector.
So all-in-one package na. You don't have to
Hindi mo na
look
kailangan
for it.
bilhin, di ba? So yan yung Starmobile Crystal. So okay guys, what do you think? Okay ba siya? Ano sa tingin ninyo based on sa specs tsaka sa nakita ninyo?
Well, just based on the appearance, I guess you can really... I don't think na you want to fool people naman. Pero it does look like a very high-end phone and
Yep.
yun nga, since it's an Android, it will look like, as the video said, the Galaxy. Diba? Samsung Galaxy. So I guess that's a plus. No?
Yep.
And of course, the price is amazing.
Yeah, 7,990.
Maganda yung price niya. For
Diba?
the appearance.
Lalo na for a
for
price-sensitive market like the Philippines.
Tsaka,
Diba?
although unfortunately, as you mentioned a while ago, it only has like half a gigabyte of RAM, which doesn't let you do much, you know? Sayang, parang nasayang yung dual core niya or
Actually, yung the usual games naman you can play like yung mga Dead Trigger na lalaro. So actually, medyo okay na siya. Pero yung mga siguro yung the more graphic intensive applications, baka medyo pumalya-palya na siya. Diba? Ikaw, Jen, what do you think?
I'm actually curious, kamusta yung quality ng camera niya, given it's 8?
Well, actually, ang sinabi ng Starmobile, hindi ko pa natitest yung camera na to, no? But sinabi nila yung 8 megapixel na to is actually better daw than the 8 megapixel camera of the Astra. So they improved
okay.
this one daw. So siguro next
so they
week,
didn't just
Hindi lang parang
hindi lang
nag-transfer.
port over. So apparently, so kung nag-isip kayo kung alin bibilin ninyo, either this one or the Astra, yung pinaka differences niya, one, it's supposed to have a better camera. It has a bigger screen. And yun, mas maganda yung overall build quality niya. So
although
yun
walang
yung
antena to.
walang TV. Di ba na na-miss natin sa Astra. So again, this is a Starmobile Crystal. It's now available for 7,990. Just go to Starmobile kiosk, no? By the way, this was
Dual
sold
SIM?
out. Dual SIM.
It's a pretty good price.
Nung December, talaga na sold out to. A lot of people were looking for it, no? So if you want to read the full review, just go to Unbox. Okay, so again, that's our first phone, the
Okay.
Starmobile Crystal. For the next phone, ang mag-discuss naman dito is si Paolo. But before we get into this
We have a
phone,
video?
we have a video.
We
Ayan,
have a
tama ni order.
No, wala na yung video.
Following procedure, so watch this one.
To the script.
Yon.
So here it is, the Cloudfone in the flesh. Let me just put it on the table cam. Right, as you can see, it's very thick. Although this should win an award for build quality because it feels very solid. Inside, there's a 1.2 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. Hold on. It has 768 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of internal storage. Unfortunately, it's a very small hard drive, so to speak. But you can expand it with a micro SD card up to 32 gigabytes. 4.3-inch capacitive touchscreen display. 8 megapixel camera. I haven't been able to test it because we don't have a micro SD with us, so none of the photos are being stored, so we can't really see the quality. On the front is a 0.3 megapixel front-facing camera. Android ice cream sandwich software.
Yeah, pero yung pinaka...
You know, and of course, the biggest feature of this is it's very thick because it has a huge battery that's 4,100 milliamperes. So in use, I guess that'll last you several days. You know,
Yeah.
unlike the typical smartphones today, like the iPhone, lasts you like 8 hours at most, diba?
Yeah, so ito yung, anong tawag dito ulit? Cloudfone Thrill 430 MX, 430X, okay? So katulad din na nangyari kay Starmobile, sabi sa akin na Cloudfone, this was actually also sold out during the holidays.
Okay.
So they were only able to replenish stocks sometime in the middle of December, or later in December. So talaga mabenta siya, no? And yun nga, yung pinaka-selling point niya is really the battery life. Pero kung papansinin nyo, would you sacrifice, sabihin natin the form factor, in terms of thickness and in heft, for additional battery life? Ikaw, would you...
Well, I guess siguro kung sundalo ka or something, yeah, that would work. I mean, it's really great na it has that much, it can last you that long, and it does feel very sturdy, and oh my god.
Okay, ito yung baterya, oh. Tingnan nyo, ganun siya kalaki, oh.
Chocolate bar yung battery.
Show it on the table.
Tingnan sa table. Yan,
Okay.
oh. Grabe, yung camera.
So this is
Ay, yung
yeah,
battery.
this is as thick as the what is this? It's as thick as like a power bank or an iPad mini or an iPhone or an iTouch. It's really big.
So yan yung battery niya. So this is the battery of the Cloudfone Thrill 430X. So makita nyo, 4,160 mAh. Ngayon, I was able to play around with this for a few days, no? And in terms of speed, actually medyo okay yung processor niya, yung Snapdragon processor.
Kasi 1.2.
So actually, kung maglalaro kayo ng games, kung the usual browsing, it's actually a pretty solid phone. And I think yun yung reason why it's selling so well. So
it's very, very solid. Unlike the other phones that we're testing, sorry to say, they're a little bit more flimsy.
Yeah, this was
Especially because if you compare it to that. Pero on just regular standards, I guess other phones are okay.
Yung napansin ko lang na problem nito when I was testing it is yung charging time for this one. Pag sinusubukan mo ito i-charge, naku grabe, kulang siguro mga 6 hours.
At 4,100
Yeah,
milliamperes.
mga 5 to 6 hours to
Baka
fully charge it.
Oo, mga ganun yung
So isang
estimated
tulugan.
time niya.
Actually, kulang nga yung
Power
mini mo.
Correct. Actually, I have to admit, kulang nga siya.
Usually
Kasi
these are like 2,000, di ba?
This is 2,000. Pero may mga power bank din kasi kami ng mga 4,000. And talagang it takes that long
To be able to
fully
charge it.
recharge it.
And
Pero
how big are those?
how big?
The
Mga
bigger
ganito.
power banks.
Mga ganito yung size niya and mas makapal.
Tsaka usually those are for tablets, di ba?
Those are for tablets already. But I think selling factor niya is, given yung price-sensitive market nga, so the extended battery life would actually work for them.
Is it
For
worth the
the
price
market?
for you?
Ako, sulit siya eh. Actually, alam mo, mas maganda sana kung may LTE ganito, no? Tapos pan-tether mo na lang.
Carlo, you tried it, diba? 3 days.
3 to 4 days
3
on
to 4
average.
days.
Ngayon, I'm sure some of the people here are watching kasi may mga nagreklamo daw na hindi daw totoo na malakas yung battery life ng Cloudfone. Kasi
Okay.
nakita ko sa Facebook page nila eh. Actually, naranasan ko yun nung simula kasi hindi ko turn down yung brightness.
So you have to make the adjustments.
Yeah,
para
to be able to reach yung
maximize.
advertised 3 days battery life. Of
Okay.
course, you have to do basic power management.
Kaya pala kanina, when you gave it to me, talagang sagad na mababa yung
Oo,
brightness.
para makita ko talaga kung gaano siya kataas. So again, this is the Cloudfone Thrill 430X. Pinakabagay siya, I guess, for people who ano ba yun
Are in the
talaga?
army.
Are in the or basta people who
Nasa
just
bundok.
Siguro if you're on a long, if you take long flights a lot,
yeah.
last
Mga
you
long
makes
haul.
sense.
Yung wala kang way to actually recharge it or to
Yeah,
have
eh.
another recharged power bank. So,
ako
diba?
I guess a more practical siguro group would be it would make a good backup phone.
You know what?
That's-
Pwede yan kung nag-charge siya ng ibang phone.
Pwede.
I don't know.
Sa Cloudfone, narinig niyo yun. Kung gusto niyo kumita kay lalo, kapitan niyo to ng pang-charge.
Pang-charge ng ibang
Yung assumption is magiging
Gagawin mo
spare
na
phone
rin
lang
siyang
siya.
power bank.
Magiging power bank
Mukha na
rin
nga
siya.
siyang power bank.
Oo eh.
Diba? So this sells for 7,777 and it's already out in the market today. So yan yung Cloudfone 430, Cloudfone Thrill 430X. Okay, so yung next naman natin is from, of course, one of the more popular brands locally, Cherry Mobile. But before we get there, we'll play one video of us unboxing it. Okay, so Jen,
daming
take it
vlogs.
away.
Okay, so this is the Cherry Mobile Blaze, not to be mistaken for the Starmobile Crystal that we just showed earlier.
They look very
They look
similar.
very similar if you would. Here's a comparison.
Ano kaya kinopya nila, no?
According, kanina kino-compare namin siya and yung pinakaunang napansin ko lang, naiiba lang siya sa pagka-white niya.
Ito na naman tayo.
So,
May nakikita ka ba difference sa white nilang dalawa?
tingnan mo. Tingnan mo. There's a difference.
Pareho kasi, they're both white.
There's a
Lalaki
difference
ko
in the
host mo
white.
eh.
Lalaki kasi kayo.
Okay, sige. So
Anyway,
anyway,
okay. Taking this away. Okay, so...
buksan lang natin para makita
Are you
nila.
sure that's the one?
Ayan.
Yeah, tama.
Then again, nag-swap tayo. Okay, so just some basic features. This has a 1 gigahertz dual-core MediaTek processor. So, 512 MB RAM. So, medyo ano pa rin, very small pa rin capacity. Internal storage is 4 gig. And it's dual SIM. So, for those of you who don't like carrying 2 phones, perfect siya. Unlike me. I like 1 phone lang talaga. 4.7-inch capacitive touchscreen, 8 megapixel rear facing. So, ito yung camera. This is the camera.
Actually, halos lahat sila 8 megapixels, ano?
Actually, I was
Yun yung
listening to
standard,
I was listening to all the other phones, and even this when I was reading through the specs, parang
They're
pareho
all
lahat.
very similar.
They're all very similar. Nag-iiba lang, let's say, screen size. This is 4.7-inch capacitive, and I think earlier it's about 4.5.
Yeah.
4.5, yeah. And then had sila 8 megapixel, tas VGA front-facing camera. So, there you go. That's it.
Yung battery
Their
niya.
battery niya is 1,500 mAh, so quite small. So,
For a
expect
phone
na
with a screen that large, ano?
for a phone
Yeah.
with a screen that large na inspired by Samsung Galaxy S3.
Actually, kung titignan ninyo yung design, no? So I'll hold the phone up, no? If you'll really check it here, talagang sayang wala akong dalang S3, but it really resembles the S3. And I think yun lang yung pinaka-main criticism ko for this, eh. Now, when the manufacturers made this, it was obviously, alam mo yun, to ride on the popularity of the S3.
It's just giving them a taste of their own medicine.
Oo, di ba? Kasi kung papansinin niyo the screen, pati yung physical home button, yung itsura ng likod, yung
Even the trim on the side.
oh,
the
even yung chrome na band sa side, yung talaga lang nagbago yung location ng charger, eh.
Tsaka hindi,
And yung
hindi
thickness
siya
niya is
micro-USB.
actually, micro USB siya,
Oo.
pero nasa taas.
Oh, kasi dapat
Sa
nasa
left side, dapat
ilalim.
nasa ilalim.
Yeah.
Tapos tama si Jen, it's actually thicker if you compare it to
It's about
the S3.
Why is it
double,
thicker, no?
a bit double the
If
thickness.
it has such a small battery or...
Wala, yun lang talagang ginawa ng manufacturer. Pero alam niyo, I've been using it for a couple of weeks already. And ito talaga totoo, when people see it, they really think it's an S3. Diba? And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing for people who want it.
Kasi if you're holding it, eh, diba?
Diba? Pero yun nga, talagang kung yun yung goal ng manufacturer, talagang
They did
ito
that.
sa accomplish. By the way, this isn't really made by Cherry Mobile, no? It's a rebranded
It's a
phone
rebranded.
from China. So they buy it, they
Like
buy
most of
the
the
rights.
phones naman that local brands sell now.
Tapos they just rebrand it based on the brand that they want to come up with. So, ito yung
Rebranded from Renming, I think.
Renming. So, ito yung
Renming.
It's not Chinese sounding at all.
Not at all.
So, ito yung Cherry Mobile Blaze. So, again,
May
yung
built-in
SRP
app
na
siya,
talaga.
diba?
Sorry?
May built-in apps siya, diba?
Ayaw nga pala. May built-in app siya na ginawa Cherry Mobile para daw ma-differentiate sila. Pero if you, I was able to test all 3 apps. Tatlo yun eh. I'll show you. This one. Ting! Ay, makikita mo from here.
I think here.
Ayan.
That.
So makikita nyo dyan, may 3 apps. So yung Cherry Fan Club, Cherry Market, tsaka Cherry Chat. Yung Cherry Fan Club, RSS reader lang yan ng mga news. Yung Cherry Market, just a few crappy apps na for free. Tapos yung Cherry Chat, wala lang, parang free messaging service. Now, personally, ako, I commend them for trying to come up with innovations like this. But if they really wanted to be, alam mo yun, a serious market differentiator, they should really invest more in their app.
And they shouldn't have copied another phone if they wanted to differentiate themselves.
I think it's too copied eh. It's too copied.
Sobra naman sa
Sobra
gabi.
silang...
Pero then again, babalik tayo sa point. This thing just cost 6,490 pesos. 99. So for 6,500, you get a dual-core phone with the 4.7-inch screen. Alam mo yun, medyo sablay nga yung battery at 1.5. But alam mo yun, it looks like an S3, and I'm sure that appeals to a particular or a specific group of people in the market. And based on sa mga nakausap ko from Cherry Mobile, it's actually selling really well.
I guess everything they do now is
Diba?
Selling pretty
Actually, dapat yun na lang ginawa natin negosyo, hindi na tayo nag-podcast.
Cherry Mobile na lang.
Magpasok na lang tayo ng mga
Mag-rebrand na lang
telepono.
tayo ng mga
konting
phones.
crappy apps lang. Okay
Oo.
na. Galit sa akin sila.
Sorry, Eunice. Diba?
Carlo yun eh.
So yan yung Cherry Mobile Blaze. It sells for
64.99.
$99. Ako personally, I think it's a good deal. Just for the price,
It's an
usapang presyo.
excellent, it's an excellent deal.
Usapang presyo, sulit siya. Pero yun nga, you just have to live with the fact na... alam mo
Pero
yun.
is it a market killer like the Flare?
Oh, not necessarily. Yung Flare talaga, it really turned the
Yun na
industry
nga eh.
upside down. Kasi for 4,000 pesos,
I would really be surprised if siguro yung mga IDC data or yung mga from research companies na it doesn't show the Flare as the best-selling smartphone in the Philippines today. I mean,
I'm not sure
something
kung to
that could really
date, pero I'm sure for the last few months
yun na nga, I
already.
mean, just for December or something. Just
Kasi they weren't able to cope with the demand.
Yun na nga. So,
Ang nangyayari sa Flare, paglapag niya, mga 3 oras lang daw ubos na. As in, pag na-deliver sa... Kita sabi ko, dapat yun na lang negosyo natin, Jen.
At the price kasi
Nagpa-power
can't
bank,
be
power
beaten.
bank
Oo
ka
nga
pa.
eh. Dapat nagano na lang tayo, no? Nag-rebrand na lang
Oo,
tayo.
nag-rebrand na lang tayo ng mga telepono.
Tawagan na nga natin.
O, diba? Imagine mo.
399 lang. eh.
Dali, nag-podcast pa kayo.
Oo nga, magbenta
Going
na lang
to
tayo
business
telepono. Unbox phones, sabahan niyo yun.
Kaya mahal na naman. Unbox phone.
Diba? So again, yan yung Cherry Mobile Blaze. Okay. So next, nakailan na tayo? Nakatatlo na tayo.
Nakatatlo na tayo.
Meron pa tayong, actually meron pa tayo several.
Sana hindi pa kayo na-overload.
Oo.
Okay, so kung may inspired by the S3.
Meron naman tayong inspired by the iPhone.
Of course.
Now this isn't
Hindi mawawala
actually
yun.
a local phone, no. This is called the Meizu. I'll show it here. Yeah. Can you help me?
Yeah.
This is called the Meizu MX 4 core. Now as you can see, it's an Android phone. Pero kung papansinin niyo yung form factor niya, it's very, very similar to the iPhone.
Kanina lang namin na-realize yun.
Diba? Pati yung home button na physical, you'll see it here, nandyan. Diba? Yung bezel niya na manipis, yung placement na speaker, even yung sides, medyo, well, hindi naman sobrang similar, pero may pagka-similarity siya. In fact, yung gumawa nito from China, they really made it a point to copy even the OS, yung operating system. Di ba usually pag Android, pag pindutin mo to, for example, kunin natin tong ano ba to? Starmobile Crystal. Di ba? Kung pindutin mo yung gitna, andyan yung upgrade. Sorry, ang dami na yung telepono dito eh. Di ba? So, yan yung upgrade. So, yan ang usual Android phone user interface.
Yep.
Yung ginawa nila dito sa Mizu, pag pindutin mo yung gitna, wala lumalabas. As in yung browser lang. Ang ginawa nila, lahat ng apps na i-download mo, lalabas sa homepage. Parang iPhone.
Parang iPhone.
Diba? So, pati yung OS, kahit it's Android, they tried to copy the iPhone.
Which is a pretty good effort. And that being said, since it copied the iPhone, I think it's the best looking phone that they have now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, among all the phones.
Agreed.
Pero ito yung interesting thing, while it looks like a cheap copycat, this phone actually has a quad-core processor. So this phone has a quad-core processor. 1 gig RAM, talagang it has the top phone specifications. It also has a 8 megapixel, parang standard na yung 8 megapixel camera na yun. 8 megapixel camera at the back. Hindi expandable yung memory niya, but it has 32 gigabytes internal storage.
Not bad yung 13.
So okay na siya. But ito yun, ito yung one of the most underrated things naman about this one. Kasi ito, I've been testing it for quite a while. This actually has one of the best audio processors on a phone. So,
Audio
kung mahilig kayo makinig ng music, it sounds much better if you listen to it on this one versus all of the other phones in the market today.
Okay.
It's that good. So kung sa mga audiophiles dyan, this is actually a good phone to look into. No? Ngayon, you're probably thinking how much this is, no? Being a quad-core phone. Some people would think, it's 18,000, 19,000, whatever. But it's actually just sells for 13,700 something.
So pinakamahal na siya among lahat ng nakita natin.
Yeah, but
Twice the price.
for 13,700 for a quad core iPhone look-alike. So, medyo sulit na siya.
Yeah.
And in fact, even
sulit
if you
na
take a look at the screen, no, hindi nyo lang masyado makita, but pati yung resolution niya tsaka yung quality ng screen is actually very good.
Mas
Pero
malinaw.
Carlo, di ba Android fans will always say na yung widgets is talagang one of the best features of the Android OS. I mean, what they do with the OS, did it take away from the benefits of having Android?
Well, you can actually put naman widgets pa rin. That's
Okay.
one. Two, yung
But is there
maganda-
any loss in the changes that they did?
Meron. Siyempre, lahat na apps lumalabas. So, ang dami mo ng pages. I think yung one of the things naman na pwede mong gawin for this one is if you don't like the OS or the user interface, just download the launcher.
Okay.
Diba, kunin mo yung
Yeah,
Nova
that's true.
or whatever, tas load mo siya. Tas okay na siya.
Sense.
Diba? So again, this is the Meizu, ano pa tawag dito? MX 4-core. It's not available in retail stores. So if you want to get it, you'll have to order from Widget City.
Okay.
Oh, that's why we've never heard of it
Yun
then.
na nga eh.
It's
So-
a very low-key.
It's a local
ano pa.
company?
No. Meizu is from China.
Okay.
So hindi siya rebranded. It's
Hindi siya
really
rebranded.
called
It's
Mizu.
actually called
It's
Mizu. Diba? So, pero it's really nice. Ako, among a lot of the phones that I've tested, it's actually a really good device.
For something for that,
For something.
for that price.
That's
Okay.
nice.
So ito again, yung Meizu MX 4-core.
Tsaka quad-core.
Quad-core. Next! Si Paolo, may i-discuss na telepono. Okay, so ito naman. So we're done with the...
With the
with
value
the
for money.
Value for money, local, and most of them were local phones. Now we'll get into two new handsets that also came out last December. One is from Sony, which is hawak ni Paolo, and another one from HTC.
I got
So,
this last
Paolo, take it
Saturday.
away.
And I guess it's your typical, I don't want to say typical, but I guess like most Androids, they're pretty much the same to use, Although
Teka,
this-
sabi mo na yung model.
it's the Sony Xperia V. We discussed this last episode, or I think a few
Yeah.
episodes back, so I don't want to go too much into the specs. Of course, it's shockproof.
Talaga tinapos sa akin.
Na-rehearse yan kanina.
Shockproof, waterproof.
Wala tayong balde ng
Back
tubig.
case, of course, is ano ba to? It's
Waterproof
curved
until-
inwards. Waterproof, I guess. I don't want to take it below 5 feet.
5 feet,
5 feet
yeah.
of water, I guess.
Okay.
The best feature of this is that it has LTE connectivity,
Woo!
which is pretty freaking awesome. Ayoko na nga ibalik to eh. So let's just run a speed test just to show you how fast that is.
May LTE signal ka ba dito?
And as you can see, okay. So you can usually get this from a 3G signal, pero yeah, it's pretty fast. Yun nga, it has, what is this, like a 4.3-inch display. Just
Ano yung processor
typical
niya? Dual core, di ba?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Okay, so anyway, yan yung Sony.
Shockproof, I dropped it several times today.
No case.
Accidentally. Wala naman siyang scratch even though it has the chrome trim on the side. And although the problem is kahit shockproof siya, it doesn't feel very solid in your hand. Of course, it's made of plastic, so I don't know. It's okay.
Saan
Is
siya
it-
nakukuha?
I guess these are it's from Smart. You have to get a plan with Smart, and it comes with LTE plans nila.
So wala siyang prepaid kit. Then again, why would you get one no, kung wala kang LTE plan?
Yun nga, they don't, diba? Smart doesn't really offer any LTE LTE prepaid services.
Okay, so yan ang...
That's the
Sony
biggest.
Xperia
Oh,
V.
Carlo, you like the?
Well, ako
You like
kasi
the look of it?
I've always been a fan of yung curved back ng
Pero this is like
Xperia.
the opposite. Okay, Xperia.
Kasi 'di ba, actually kung papansinin niyo kung fan kayo ng Sony, yung Sony Ericsson Xperia series, yung Arc tsaka yung Arc S, ganyan yung ano niya eh. Yung
Yun nga,
pagka-design.
inside.
While I agree with you na hindi ko masyadong gusto yung
Chrome.
yung chrome silvery finish on the side. I think they would have probably just went better kung similar to the iPhone.
Silver
yung medyo
na lang.
brushed.
Brushed
Right,
aluminum finish.
Versus a very shiny, shimmery, polished.
Shimmery.
It's a
Tipong
very,
gusto ni Aladdin, di ba?
Okay.
it's a solid phone. It's a
Shiny,
it's a
shimmery,
strong
splendid.
product.
Aladdin yun, di ba?
Aladdin.
Okay,
Shiny
Lea Salonga, bro.
Anyway. So anyway, yan yung Xperia V. Anong camera niyan, di ba? It's supposed to be
It
really
has like
kick-ass.
13 or 14 megapixel camera.
Ang gaan niya.
resolution. Yeah, very light. Pero yun nga, I guess it doesn't feel as solid as the other phones, especially this one.
Na pang army,
Oh, like the iPhones.
na pang sundalo.
Pero yeah, that said, it's still a very solid phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a very strong product. And of course, it has LTE connectivity. One of the few phones you can get LTE with. So yeah, I guess that's its biggest selling point. And it runs pretty well. Not a lot of glitches like most other Android
In-offer din
phones.
ba siya ng Globe or is this exclusive to
It's
Smart?
exclusive to Smart.
Yeah, exclusive
Right
to Smart.
now.
Yeah, I think Globe has the.
Para naman balanced tayo.
Huawei. I think any phone that you can get LTE with, I think it's worth the price. Because I think it's gonna be hard to go back to just regular 3G connections after experiencing LTE.
Lalo na kung magda-download ka ng apps, no?
Yun
Sobrang
naman,
bilis.
diba? And just regular, just browsing or
Faster.
looking through your Instagram feed, everything's just faster, everything's just there immediately. It's great.
Okay, so yan yung Xperia V. Next, di pa tayo tapos. Okay po ba kayo dyan?
One more launch.
Ang dami, ano? Okay, yung last na papakita natin na phone, this one naman nakakaiba siya kasi most of the stuff that we've shown you, actually all of the stuff we've shown you are Android phones. Now, this is the only Windows phone that we'll be showing today. So this is the HTC 8X. So kung pag-in-on natin siya,
The very well-designed HTC.
papansin ninyo, it's Windows. Diba, syempre, yung mga text ko nakita ninyo.
Miguel Rufin
Face mo rin.
Ay, mukha ko na siya. Hindi kasi ito na yung primary phone ko So talaga gamit na gamit tong telepono na to. So, yun yung live tiles. This is the Windows Phone 8 user interface. So, yung Metro, di ba? Yung inyata yung tawag nila. Yun yung mga live tiles. So, makikita niyo dyan, gumagalaw yung mga tiles. Talaga you see the information that you want. May mga widgets ako or may mga tiles ako for weather, for maps, games, check-in sa Foursquare, yung mga usually tinetext ko, syempre yung misis ko na dyan sa pinakataas, di ba?
Yun.
Tapos pag tingin mo sa baba, yung people that I work with, may office siya.
TV5 pa dyan.
Meron pa naman, di ba? May Microsoft Office, and yung nakakaliw sa kanya, meron siya dito, yung pag pinindot mo automatically magsasend siya, yung mga default text. So pag kunyari, kay Mitch, pag hinahanap ko siya, meron ako dito, pag pindutin ko, lalabas, where are you? So useful.
So parang may template text
May
na siya.
template na.
I'm sure yung kay Mitch ang naka-template. Sino kasama mo?
Or kung gusto ko naman para sa driver, di ba? Pag pindutin ko yan, pasundo na. So it works. So yan yung Windows 8 user interface na. So makita ninyo, andyan na yung mga usual apps. So yan. But that's the software no. One of the things that I really liked about this phone is the design, the hardware. Kung papansin niyo, medyo ano siya tapered on the sides. Ibig sabihin nun,
Very
parang
sleek.
bumababa siya ng pagano no. Parang siyang pillow. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Tapos yung glass,
Mold siya.
curved yung glass. So it actually curves downwards and meets the polycarbonate shell.
So there are no sharp edges on this.
Yeah, and it's very light. Maganda yung pagkagawa ng phone. And you know what? Ako I've tried a lot of phones no, being a person who's reviewed several gadgets before. And ako nung tinigil ko siya gamitin for a few weeks to try the Meizu, na-miss ko siya. This is actually the first phone na pwede ko sabihin na nung tinigil ko siya gamitin, na-miss ko. And in all honesty, I was planning originally of, di ba the usual style ko, I flip phones. After getting it, I sell it and buy new ones for review. This one, hindi ko mabenta. Kasi it's actually something that I really, really
Ang ganda
like.
niya in terms of, hindi lang in terms of design, pero also sa interface niya.
Yeah,
Windows
it's
8
very refreshing.
It reminds me of the Flipboard app. Yung
Yeah.
interface,
Actually,
right?
correct.
Right?
Flipboard.
But Windows 8 I think is the easiest to use
Among all of them.
the OS.
Yeah.
The biggest downside I guess is the scarcity of apps that you can get with Android and with iOS.
Actually, we can discuss that quickly. No, if you take a look at all of the major apps that you need, they're almost all here na eh.
Ayun nga. Pero
Ang wala lang Instagram. So, baka deal breaker yun for a lot of people.
yung break yan kala Georgina Wilson.
Pero wala siyang Instagram. Pero the others, all the social networking apps,
Right.
the RSS readers, everything is here, no? Na kailangan ninyo. Also, one of the more cute things about this also is, meron din siyang the usual
Beats.
The Beats.
Ba?
Beats.
Audio.
Magamit ka pala ng Beats, Carlo.
I-explain ko siya. Yung Beats technology na ginamit sa particular phone na to is
Okay.
not the usual one that just turns up the bass. Yung usual kasi na Beats technology that HTC and other companies have put in their phones will just artificially increase the bass, tas yun na yun. Yung maganda dito, meron siyang built-in amplifier.
Okay.
So dahil may built-in amplifier
ampli na
siya,
siya?
mas maganda talaga yung music na lumalabas.
Okay.
So it's actually not just yung lower end, pati yung mids tsaka yung highs, they all come out nicely. It's a bit technical for music people.
For everyone.
Yeah, but
For everyone.
basta maganda pakinggan. Diba? So ito yung
And Windows 8 also does have the best Maps app, I think. Especially if you're in the
pag
Philippines.
naka-Nokia ka.
Nokia!
So far from what I heard.
Pag naka-Nokia ka, dito Nokia, HTC
Oo
to.
nga pala.
Oh, diba? So, sorry, hindi gagana yung Nokia, yung plug natin for the maps. Diba? Again, this is the HTC 8X. By the way, it has a 8 megapixel camera at the back.
Standard
Which-
na yata yun
No, but yung 8 megapixel na ito really takes good photos. It's not as good as the iPhone
Right?
5, but it's
Forest
still
is-
pretty good.
Ah.
Diba? Maganda pa rin yung camera nito. So again, this is the HTC 8X. And by the way, to those who have Xbox consoles at home, meron siyang app na you get to control your Xbox using your phone.
Oh,
How?
So,
And how do you do that?
infrared.
ano yung remote control lang.
Remote control.
So,
Hindi siya gamepad. As in remote control lang. Kanya gusto mo maglipat-lipat.
okay.
Yun lang
Okay.
siya.
Carlo, excluding the Sony and the HTC, which among the 4 budget phones would you pick, would you actually use in every day?
Well, ako, I've been using, I'll pick two, no? One, it's obviously the Meizu. Kasi it's still a quad-core Android phone. I like the camera and the fact that it has yung good music output really is important for me. So I
Although
picked
the
this
price
one.
is a little higher. I mean, a lot
It's
higher.
double the price of all the others.
Yeah, but para sa akin kasi value for money mo din, di ba, for this one.
Yep.
Sulit na rin,
Yeah.
di ba? So ako, I'd pick this one. But if to pick between the three, sabihin natin yung Cherry Mobile Blaze, the Cloudfone Thrill, and the Starmobile Crystal, ako slightly leaning towards the Crystal.
Really?
But, yeah, more than the two, kasi mas gusto ko yung profile niya, mas gusto ko yung screen, yung QHD.
Okay.
Yeah.
I miss the TV of the Astra. Diba? But yun na yun. So para
Wala
sa
ka sa
akin,
TV ngayon.
bakit?
Hindi, wala.
Wala na ako sa
Wala ka
TV5.
na hindi.
So I don't miss the TV anymore.
Of the Astra.
Of the Astra.
Astra.
Hindi na pala ako kapatid. Okay. So ako, I would pick this one. Ikaw, Jen, which one of the three budget? Let's take this on out.
Take
Kasi
that
share. So
out.
which one of the three would you pick?
Oh, no. Makes it harder.
That makes it harder.
Ako pinili ko to, si Crystal.
Si Crystal. Kung gusto ko maiba, syempre si... Ano ba to?
Cloudphone.
Cloudphone! Si Cloudphone.
Dahil sa battery.
Dahil sa battery life.
At
if
least
ever.
consistent ka sa anong
It's the
negosyo
battery
mo.
life. Oo. Pero syempre, if I'm gonna be biased, syempre, kung anong ko yung negosyo ko, I would pick one of the two.
Kasi mababa yung
Oo.
battery.
But the truth, pero sa totoo lang, I would choose either the Starmobile or the Cherry Mobile just because I'm not keen on
The form factor.
the form factor and because it's very thick. And yung weight niya, considerable weight. I mean, as a girl naman, yung bag ko mabigat na di ba?
Oo,
So, pag
actually.
dinagdag ko to, dagdag bigat din siya.
Actually, nakakagulat minsan yung bag ng mga babae, no? Yung feeling gentleman ka,
Ano
tapos
ba,
kukunin mo, tapos biglang pag
Gusto mo subukan yung bag namin?
Hindi, si Mitch, yung
Yung kay Mitch,
bag
I'm
niya,
sure.
heavy duty. Ano? Anyway, sorry, ikaw.
Oo.
Pili ka isa.
Ako actually, I think I would, even though it looks really, really ugly. To call it what it is, I think I would pick the Cloudphone kasi nga, because of the battery life. I'm not a really big fan of Android. I mean, I'm not a fan at all of the Android OS, except maybe the one on the Nexus 4. Pero yun nga, I think, for people who don't want to charge every time you sit down, the
Sulit na
Cloudphone
siya.
will really work
Bagay, para wala kang panic factor.
Oo, di ba? Na you're waiting for
20% na lang.
Oh,
yung
you're waiting for an important
battery.
phone call
Correct,
or
correct.
anything. You're waiting for a text, ganun.
At least buhay na buhay.
And
Okay.
to me, all Androids are the same.
Okay, sige na.
Screen lang siya.
Sige na, hindi na kita awayin. Lagay mo na lang dyan. Okay, so that wraps up our segment on the cheap phones. Before we go, makikibalita lang tayo sa'yo. Diba you've been in contact with Alora?
Alora.
So,
Alora, of course.
i-chismis mo lang sa atin ang
At
mga
the other
pinagkukwento
side,
sa'yo ni Alora and what they can expect from
westward.
us next week.
She's joining us from yesterday.
Excuse me.
Right. So, she'll be attending the press conferences of which companies? Of course, the ZTE Grand S is launching, the one that's bigger than the Note. We call it phablets. companies holding press conferences in the next few days. LG, Huawei, Intel, Samsung, and we hear Lenovo is also announcing the launch of its K900 smartphone, which hopefully we will
Have
have
next
here
week.
next week. And hopefully we'll have a report from Alora as well.
Okay, ang guest natin next week, by the way, is Patricia Paredes from Lenovo Mobile Philippines. So watch out for yung announcements. I heard she'll be showing us the new phones, and hopefully isa doon would be the
Since we're closer to
The new
to China.
oh, diba? Sana isa doon is
talaga.
K900.
Yes.
So bago tayo talagang mag-break, ikwento mo naman to. Para naman
Just
meron
because para may maiba.
Para lang
Para
maiba.
maiba lang tayo.
Before we
Okay, so if you want to charge all of these phones, and nakita mo dito. This is the Power Star from Mili. So it's the power bank for micro USB devices. So yeah.
camera.
Camera.
Yo.
There you go. So Mili, that's the Power Star. You'll see. It's one of the power banks na integrated yung cables.
So hindi mo na
It's
kailangan
all
maglabas-labas ng
integrated.
cable.
Wala nang nakadetach na cables or adapters, but it's only for the micro USB port.
So hindi siya
Yung
pang
one, the thin one.
yung Apple na iPhone 4.
No, hindi siya pang Apple, whether it's the 30-pin or the Lightning port. So it actually works for
With all of the phones?
With all of the phones here, kasi they all, if you look at it, it all uses the micro USB port. So all of this.
Pero hindi kakayanin niya.
Pero ito hindi kakayanin, sorry.
Akala ko double A.
Okay, with that.
Okay, so
Magkano ulit benta niyan, Jen?
this is 1795.
1795.
You can find it at gadget stores and most
Okay.
gadget stores.
With that, thank you, Jen, for being our co-host for this evening.
Thank you.
Yay!
Next week ulit?
Next week ulit.
Next week ulit. We'll talk to
Dalawa lang kasi
Alora.
Alora. Thanks guys for tuning in. It's been a while and I hope you still, well, I'm sure nag-enjoy kayo. Pero next week, we'll have an even nicer show. We'll have a guest from Lenovo Philippines. And we'll try to have some other stuff also from Cherry Mobile. Kasi I heard they're announcing na
Another
naman,
slew of new
God.
phones.
another slew of phones. So we'll try to get some of those phones on the show.
Parang
So that-
fashion week lang, no?
Oo nga eh, parang every other week eh.
Every other week.
So with that, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's Carlo, Paolo, and Jen
Jen.
for Unbox.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Cheers.
Hey.